Hi, happy Monday. Thank you for coming to the Amber Shows. So glad to see you, and I hope that everyone had a safe and a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Okay, I have a lot of news, so I want to talk really quick because I don't know how long this is going to take for me to be out here in this heat. It's very hot. First off, there's a manhunt. Escaped killers could literally be anywhere. There's a $100,000 reward for Richard, Matt, and David Sweat. They escaped from Clinton Correctional Facility. They cut through prison steel walls with tools and followed a series of tunnels until they actually emerged outside the prison walls. They were last seen at 10:30 p.m. last Friday, during a standing count. It was elaborate, it was sophisticated, it involved drilling through actual steel. The prison was built in 1845. The population is almost 3,000 inmates, 2,689 to be exact. These guys are dangerous. Listen, I've been to the prison at Clinton. I was a coordinator for Operation Prison Gap, where the owner sent me to different prisons. I coordinated the buses for the girls who were going on their visits. I also did my own bus service to go to prisons, and I actually wrote the book, The Inmate's Visitor. It's a hand guide to help loved ones whose family were incarcerated in New York State and the Tri-County areas. So I've seen it before, and that is amazing. I see a movie in the works. This prison is like trying to break out of Attica. As a matter of fact, I can't even remember anybody ever trying to escape. And that type of escape was truly sophisticated. These guys, they're saying, during the standing count, first off, they were neighbor mates. Neighbor mates, not cellmates. Their cells were right next to one another. So they planned this elaborately and in complete detail, because today is Monday and they're still on the run. Listen, they also are thinking, the prison officials are saying that possibly that they got the tools from construction people who were there at the prison, because again, the prison is very old and they've been doing a lot of work there. These guys went for the standing count. The inmates always have a count. The correction officers count the inmates at different times of the day where you have to stand in front of your cells. Well, they did that, but then during the night, after the last night count, they actually made their escape. They had 7 hours to do it, and they did it. The next morning, when it was time for them to be counted, they were gone. I know those correction officers are in a lot of trouble because somebody must know something, and I know the warden and everybody else is in an uproar. I bet there are a lot of inmates who are happy it happened, and now they know it can happen. But these are dangerous guys, so you can't make light of it. So I do see a movie in the making, though. Wow, unbelievable. $100,000 reward. Be careful, snitches get stitches, but $100,000, you might go take a chance on the stitches. All right, be careful in New York if you're upstate or anywhere, because they're probably not even upstate anymore. They might be on their way to Canada, but some kind of way, they made it happen. All right, I want to talk about dreams real quick. Dreams, when you fall asleep, what do they mean? Sometimes you get a number in a dream. You'll see a number, hear a number, and you'll play it. You might end up hitting the lottery. I know my father used to do that with me. He used to ask me what certain things that I dreamed. Back in the day, they used to have what's called a dream book, because playing numbers back then, it was not the regular type of lottery, the legal lottery like it is now. They were numbers where the actual people took numbers and made the bets at the racetrack, and then you'd win money. It was very popular in the black communities in a way to get a large amount of money. And so a lot of times you might dream a number, you might dream that you're gonna, somebody you hadn't seen in a long time, and then all of a sudden they pop up. You might get a dream that when you're getting ready to travel, that maybe you shouldn't travel, there's an accident in your dream. But all dreams, do they all mean something? I'd love for you guys to give me some comments on some of the dreams that you've had that's actually come true, or you decided not to do something because that dream you had was saying you shouldn't do it. So dreams are very interesting. You know, I'm a big fan of Sons of Anarchy, so a lot of times at night that's the last thing that I watch, and then I'll dream I'm, a motorcycle broad, I'm on the motorcycle, I'm Jax's boss bitch, something, but the last thing that you see or the last thing you think about, a lot of times it does determine what your dream is going to be about or what's been on your mind. also, let's talk about bills. Everybody hates bills. I hate a bill. How are these companies determining as to whether or not how your water bill is a certain amount or how your electric bill is a certain amount? I mean, these are all, I believe that they're just ripping us all off. You know, if you move into a brand new apartment and somebody had already been in that apartment, had been an occupant, a lot of times the Con Edison company, they're actually billing you on the determination of what that last person actually used, the amount of energy they use. So even though we can't really find out, we're not like savvy to where you know exactly how much water you're using and how much water that costs, or how much electricity you're using and Wi-Fi and how much that's costing as far as breaking it down. If you do see discrepancies in your bills going up and down, just make sure that you call your company and talk to them about it. And to prove that they sometimes are really ripping us off, when you call and you complain about a bill, they'll say, oh, we're crediting your account, there was a mistake. So let's talk about that. Let me know what bill irks you the most. But you know one thing, that cell phone bill is nothing you can do about, because we need our cell phones. All right, let's talk about burning calories. There's a new vibrator, and it tells you how to have sex while crunching numbers in the background. It's a vibrating penis ring, and it actually is designed for couples, and it keeps track of how you're having sex, from the number of thrusts you make, to the calories that are burned, to how many times you switched positions. Now, all the data goes to an app. Of course, it's a smartphone app, and it will actively give you the recognition on how to enhance your sex life. For $129, you can get it in 5 different colors, and you can just start talking to your mate all the time about how many calories we burned while having sex, just like if you're at the gym, how many calories you burned while you were at the gym. So this is all new technology, of course, but this is where we're going with technology. So now you can have sex and count your calories at the same time. Last and foremost, there's the ex-wife of Russia's richest man. His wife, she gets $250,000 a month, and she said, that's not enough. You're not giving me those little pennies. She wants more. She said he's worth $30 billion. They were married 30 years. They had 3 children who are grown, and she was completely blindsided by the divorce, and she wants more money. She also got property in Moscow, New York, and Russia, plus the $250,000 a month, but she wants half of that $30 billion. Actually, last year, another Russian billionaire, he faced a huge divorce bill. His name is Dmitry Rybolovlev, and he gave his wife $4.5 billion to leave him alone. Wow, that's some leaving a person alone. Okay, I want to say thank you so much for coming to the Amber Shows. And on a serious note, I want to tell my best friend in New York, Marilyn Russell, that my condolences go out to her and the Russell family. Her mom passed away last week, and I loved her mother, Mrs. Russell. Mrs. Russell was one of those real smart Aries women, and she was, her birthday was the same day as my sister Jackie's, April 15th. She was a very wonderful lady, and I'd like to give my condolences to the Russell family, and to say that I know Mrs. Russell is resting in peace. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming to the Amber Shows, and I'll see you again soon. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Bye.